struggled for a long time with surviving. No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to the continuation of my Last of Us Part 1 Grounded Difficulty Guide, and this is Part 5, the Suburbs. And I suppose with the exception of the Left Behind DLC, or for this game it's not really a DLC, is it? It's like a side story. We're basically halfway through the series, because besides Pittsburgh there is no other section that's going to be as long as that one. Winter is going to be pretty close. I know that the actual chapter name is Lakeside Resort, but that's kind of a lame chapter title. Because Winter itself deserves a whole section, because Winter is really tough. And what I was saying before, what I wasn't saying before, but I'm kind of excited for the future as well, because, well, at this point in time it will already gone by, but I'm moving out of the place that I'm in. I'm moving away from my folks, and I'm moving in with some mates from work, and it'll be real nice to have a place to myself, where I'm close to work, because I've got to travel for nearly an hour to get to work every morning that I go to work, and it's another hour coming all the way back, and because it's Australia it's hot as fuck and gets rather annoying. But being close to everywhere that I need, and even to where I'm going to be living, that's going to be great. And especially since none of the people that live there are gamers, and they're not huge into their not really huge into their shows, or at least not that much. The most they'll watch is like sports on TV and everything, so that doesn't require immense amounts of the internet. Because where I'm living right now, even though it doesn't really happen, I think my stepbrother was upstairs having a massive online gaming session the other day, and so for most of the afternoon and for a good chunk of the night, the uploads I was trying to make for my Ultra Age hard difficulty walkthrough took ages to upload, and I could barely do anything with the internet. I couldn't even write the descriptions for the videos that had already been done and ready to go, because the internet was just that fucking slow, because he had been using up tons of it. And so he got priority, and well, I ended up getting shafted, and so I felt like my Saturday's been wasted a little bit. But it's Sunday, it's already halfway through the day, and well, still a few hours to go before I need to get some rest. I'm hoping I can smash this commentary out, get it edited, get it exported, and of course I'm testing a new angle for my microphone, seeing if that makes a bit of a difference, takes away a bit more of the punch or the echo and the gravel in my voice. But yeah, no, things are looking up. I mean, after work on Friday I got a massive haircut, got my beard shaved off, 4 years of just looking all scraggly and caveman-like, really awful. But hair feels a lot smoother. It's all nice and good. And yeah, aside from, I think about it more and more, and I probably didn't even need to pay for a haircut, because with the amount of bullshit I had to put up with in a few of these sequences throughout this walkthrough of the game, I probably could have pulled my hair out by myself. And for the most part, the sequence here is just a lot of looking around and looting. There's a toolbox in here that gives you level 3 tools, I believe. And when that happens, now we've got access to some of the best upgrades in the game. So we just need to get to a bench, and the bench is in the actual suburbs, so we need to get out of the sewers. And the only real tough sewer sequence is the one with the stalkers, which I'm going to speed up a little bit here, because there's a little bit of there's a few weird gimmicks with it. And then the final sequence, which wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, because I usually have a lot of problems with it, especially in the original and the remaster. But in this remake, it's a lot easier to go through. So once we move on through here, now that we've got the shorty shotgun, the shorty shotgun is really, really useful. Probably more so than the actual shotgun. When you come down through here, there's going to be an infected that rushes you from down the stairs. Don't get too far in, because there's going to be another one there, I believe. Or if not, there's going to be 3 of them rushing through the door. I believe if you jump over that box and you throw a brick or a bottle at one of them, you can line all 3 of them up and just hit them with the shorty a couple times and kill them all. But strangely enough, in the sequence here, they're actually very useful in dealing damage and weakening the enemies, so I can just pick away at them. And there I go, finish that guy off without needing to waste any bullets. Because this is supposed to be the shorty tutorial, we use the shorty to kill these guys, but because they rarely ever drop ammo, that's not really the case. And I think it's so strange, even in this remake, how you can end up with no ammo for the shorty, but down here when you kill enemies you end up picking like You know, if you still have like 1 or 2 shots, you'll pick up like 1 or 2 bullets. But if you've got no bullets, you'll pick up like 4 or 5 bullets. It's like, that's ridiculous, even for grounded. And when you have like no ammo for anything, even though the enemies clearly aren't carrying like arrows, they've obviously got a pistol or a revolver or they've got a shotgun. No, instead they give you fucking arrows. Why? Why arrows? It doesn't make any sense. In any case, now we come to a pretty tough sequence that I'm pretty sure I've actually sped up. Oh no, I haven't sped it up, but I'm going to speed it up soon, I believe. And a lot of this has to do with baiting the stalkers. You have a greater chance of sneaking up on the stalkers compared to the original remaster, because this section on that original remaster version of the game is fucking nightmare fuel. It's so bad. But yeah, you just sneak up here, a stalker will get triggered, use the shorty, and when you kill one of them, run back out. Because sometimes they'll follow you, sometimes they won't, they often won't. But there's going to be a couple of clickers that get triggered by the sounds, and they're going to be the first ones that come out to greet you. The rest of the enemies, there's like 5 or 6 of them, they're stalkers, and they move all over the place. And we're going to be going back into that room right ahead of us, and we're going to be ducking in and out. Because if we get far enough back, we will see one of them crouch behind the box, but we're moving that fast that they can't react to it in time, and then we end up gunning them down super quick. And if you keep hanging in that area, they can't sneak up on you from the doorways, so they'll always jump over the railings. And when they jump over the railings, they stop jumping over the railings and they focus on the front, but they'll never rush you. They'll wait till you make the next move, but if you wait too long, and if you try to go anywhere out of that area from the 2 entrances, they'll have an exit blocked waiting for you. So you're going to be constantly on the move, running back and forth, going in and out. So yeah, take this thing out here, run back out before they can flank around and cover this exit so it stops you from getting away. And this is sort of what you have to do. I'm leaving that shorty round there on purpose, because if I run out of ammo, I at least know that I have a guaranteed like shorty round. Or it's something called ammo manipulation. When you run low on a gun's ammo, or you know, you're getting pretty low but you can do it, you can manipulate ammo by deliberately not picking it up. So you trick the game into thinking that, oh, you're still killing them, but you don't have like any ammo, so we're going to drop you even more of that same ammo we tried to drop to you before, and before you know it, you've got like 3 or 4 enemies that had the same ammo counts, so you've got tons of ammo to pick up from the same gun. It's kind of similar to a trick I found where, obviously I just finished my Dead Space 2 Zealot difficulty walkthrough and hardcore difficulty walkthrough. I was looking over some old footage, and you know, a YouTuber that I'm greatly inspired by, and part of the reason why this channel exists and why I want to follow in his footsteps and make similar guides and everything. You know, it was like 3 or 4 years ago he made a Dead Space 2 challenge run, which he called Helldiver, where it's just similar to a run he did before, where it's no upgrades, no shop, you know, you can't get any upgrades and you can't take damage, but there's another condition where he can't use stasis, and that's the only difference I noticed really. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking brutal. But he mentioned that because there's no shop, with no shop, you can't actually buy any ammo, so you need to rely on what you find in the environment, what you pick up from the enemies. So what you could do is you could take stacks of ammunition you have. When you find a lot of chests lying around, you could drop all of your ammunition so your inventory is empty, and when you stomp on those boxes, you trick the game into thinking you've got no inventory left when you've got no ammo for your plasma cutter left, and so it deliberately gives you all plasma cutter ammo. Well, that doesn't work all the time, but it works most of the time, and that's actually a really useful technique. And I never thought about it like that. Like, I knew that the ammunition count is manipulated depending on how many guns you have and how much ammo you have for it. It's like, if you only use the plasma cutter, then you'll only get plasma cutter ammo most of the time. It doesn't work all the time apparently, but for the most part it does seem to work for him. So, you know, one of these days I am thinking about going back to Dead Space 2 to do that challenge run, you know, in honor of that YouTuber and everything. By the way, if you move back here, if you manage to clear a path towards this exit with the ladder, then all the stalkers are more tempted to rush you. So if you're going to do that and you're going to goad them into trying to stop you from leaving, don't throw a brick and bottle and grab them. Make sure you just straight up kill them. And I gotta take a second, guys, because, you know, I've got these snake confectionery lollies in my hand, and I made the unfortunate mistake of rubbing them together like a stress toy, and now they've kind of semi-melted, stuck to my fingers like gum, so I'm just going to take a minute or so to clean these, but I'm basically just wandering around finding all the loot I didn't find before. Make sure you don't miss anything. Probably need to wash my hands actually. Oh well. I'll take care of that after this walkthrough. Very professional, I know. Here I am, supposed to be guiding you on how to beat The Last of Us, legendary Last of Us, in the remake on its highest difficulty setting, and here I am trying to lick the melted remains of a snake lolly off my fingers. Very nice. So I don't have any melee weapons left, so I pick up the pipe that was jammed in the door. Make sure you don't forget that if you don't have a melee weapon or you need to swap it. So you rush to the section here, and there's going to be a molly and one shotgun round. Now, all you need really is one Molotov and, maybe a couple of shotgun rounds and a pistol round. You don't have to hold out in this section for as long as you did in the original remaster, because in the original and the remaster, a lot of it was predicated on how many enemies you could kill, whereas in this version, it's all about time, so you don't have to kill that many of them. So even though the radius on the Molotov is complete shit compared to the first game, like in the first game, the original and the remaster, the Molotovs in that game were fucking S tier, man. They're so good. In this, they suck, but you've got them, so you might as well use them. So you throw it down there. Any of them that fall down will catch on fire, and the animation recovery they'll go through will set them on fire, and so you'll kill a few of them. Or it'll slowly damage them over time, making them more vulnerable to attacks. Make good use of that pipe, because that's the only place you're really going to find it useful here. I know that clicker was going for Henry and I could have ignored it, but I knew that Henry would be useless and lure it back to me like a fucking idiot he is. So I kill his two clickers, he takes care of that one infected, gets him down, I smack him with the pipe, and we're pretty much good to go here. Ellie calls out to us, yep. So I just go ahead and smack that guy a couple times. I kill him when I only intended to hit him a couple times, and I just go ahead and finish that guy off just in case. Because even when she says we've got it and we're all good to go, don't trust it. Because sometimes, even though she says, we're all clear, we're all ready to go, it usually takes maybe 2 or 3 seconds before you're actually allowed to go through the animation of going through the door, before you're safe. So don't trust it completely. Don't let your guard down until you know for certain. So yeah, if you want to find all the gear and the loot around here, just follow my lead. There's all sorts of cool stuff. I think the hardest thing to find in this is in one of the houses down at the lower levels of the suburbs. You can pull on this little cord and it opens up was it a cellar or an attic, whatever you want to call it. And you can actually send Ellie up into it and she pulls down a manual which upgrades your melee weapon. So if you ever get a melee weapon upgrade, if you got the first one earlier in the game, you've got 2 free instant kills, but because you're going to start finding later on in the game like an axe and machete, you've already got your instant kills, and while it would definitely be useful, giving up blades and binding over giving up blades for nail bombs or, for a shiv door where you got supplies for what you really truly need, well, because you'll be fighting the fireflies at the very end of the game, and you don't want to engage with them in melee as much as possible because they will keep shooting you, they will not stop. They've got machine guns, they've got El Diablos, it's pretty ridiculous. So you just keep on going through here, finding all the loot you can, and then eventually you'll come to the bench once, or I'll go to the bench once I found all the equipment that I want, and then I'll go through several upgrades, and I'll show you guys what they are and what I have to go through. And then when it comes to the suburb section with the sniper, I had to start that a couple times over because I was quite perplexed because I'm used to the original and the remaster. I was quite surprised to see that the checkpoint on the sniper section is very generous. Like you can go only you can get like 3 or 4 checkpoints on either side of whichever path you want to go. And I know people say that the easiest path to beat the sniper section in the suburbs is to go down the left-hand side. Don't listen to them. They're full of shit. Even though the left-hand side looks like it has a lot of cover from the sniper, it doesn't. He can hit you in some of the most bullshit angles possible. Like even when you look through the sniper scope. When you look through the sniper scope and you're doing the sniper sequences and you're wondering like how he could have possibly hit you, he couldn't have. He really couldn't have. There's no way he could have. By the way, that section out there, that little garden where you got like 2 or 3 bricks, you can find a firefly pendant in the tree by knocking it out with the bricks. but I just use it as a way to get a brick or bottle on hand in case I need it again. So up here there's got a middle section, middle floor, but I'm going to ignore it and go right to the top so I can get the matchbook that has the code to the safe down on the middle floor. There's an arrow up here as well. And so once we open up the safe contents and we're going to go back outside, we're going to go hit the bench, and then we're going to go off to the sniper sequence in the suburbs. And thank God we don't have long to go for this video, because I want to get my fingers clean right now. But yeah, it's like I said, as soon as you get the first upgrade for the hunting rifle for piercing, so you can shoot right through enemies' body armor, because grounded amplifies your damage that you do to enemies, you don't even need the power upgrade for the hunting rifle. You don't need anything more than the first piercing upgrade. I don't know what the point is for double piercing upgrades. I'm guessing that means for when you're shooting a bloater, if you want to shoot through its armor, or if you want to shoot it after it's after it's been crippled with the Molotov. Maybe that's why. But yeah, so you don't have to follow all the upgrades I do. If you have other guns you like to use that I'm not upgrading, then by all means go ahead and upgrade those guns, because what I'm doing is not necessary a lot of the time, especially when it comes to the end of the game. I want to increase the range on the shotgun so it can hit a little bit further, and I want to upgrade the fire rate at some point. And you don't have to upgrade the fire rate or even the magazine capacity, because you barely find enough ammo to get full capacity with the shotgun anyway. The closest you can get to that is at the beginning of the game when you first get it, but beyond that, not really. So yeah, definitely upgrade the bow, especially when it comes to draw speed. Draw speed is like the best thing that it has. And when it comes to everything else, yeah, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want. You don't need the power on the hunting rifle, you only need one piercing upgrade, but you do you. I'm doing what works for me, you do what works for you. And so I go ahead and get the next holster. Oh, I got the primary holster first, I got that mistake wrong. And the secondary holster I get for this. Now for this, I pretty much only put it into spread and maybe one magazine capacity upgrade, and that's pretty much it. When you first get the El Diablo in the next chapter, you're not going to be able to upgrade anything really, except maybe for reload speed. So you want to wait until you get to the university and you get level 4 tools, and then you can start doing a couple of El Diablo upgrades, because you get a fair bit of El Diablo ammo here and there in the Firefly lab, because besides assault rifles, they also like to use the El Diablo. That's just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to go through, sort my weapons out, make sure I have everything that I need, and I'm going to come to the sniper sections of the suburbs pretty soon. And I've got a pretty neat trick for you to beat the whole thing in about 1.5 to 2 minutes. And because of the generous checkpoints in the sequence, it shouldn't be a problem for you. So you just drop down here, and when you load back up, you run off to the right. Now before you get right there, duck down, because it makes him miss a shot, or if not, yeah. There's sometimes he will hit you, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's a guy that camps around here. Don't rush in if you can help it, but I like to rush in just because getting hit once by a baseball bat from him, versus getting shot by a sniper through the windows there, not really viable. So I do actually die in the sequence here, but yeah, you just have to duck down against the cars, wait for him to shoot and miss a shot, or just sprint forward and then duck down right at the last moment before he makes a shot. Try to aim for the right angle where he would miss by hitting the car roof or something. So run up to this box here, and I don't know if this works properly or not, but look at how pathetic the smoke bomb is. Look, it's already gone. But it worked, seemingly, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a molly in there. So you kill 2 or 3 of them, pull out your shotgun, run in there, take care of everybody else. Boom, dead. So he probably drops a molly, yeah, he drops a full molly, so they always drop a full Molotov. But there's one other guy in here, and I panic. I didn't realise that. So if you kill 2 guys with a molly, and you shoot the one guy with a shotgun that has the molly, there's going to be another guy hanging around as well, so make sure you take care of him as well. If not, if you wait a little bit longer, you could probably kill 3 of them with the molly, but at that point you're just asking to get shot before you throw the molly, so don't really risk it. I go ahead and pop up, take a shot. And the spawns and the systems are so weird in the original and remaster that I haven't fully figured out, even though I've gone both sides on grounded before. I found this to always be the easiest way, and the strategy works a treat in this one, probably more so than the original and remaster. But I'm pretty sure if you wait too long or if you start searching these houses, it triggers spawns of other enemies that try to come and get you. This should be one of the best sequences in the game and one of the coolest sequences because of how much freedom it gives you and where you can go and, you know, choosing which houses to go through, and there's loot in every place and every house is different. But they completely water it down by throwing in random spawns and this fucking sniper that can see you everywhere you go, no matter how much you sneak through. But yeah, run down this section here and then take the right and take it in the backyard. And you will probably get spotted down the left here, but just sprint on by them. You can usually get away with it. Sometimes you get unlucky when you go through here and you get shot when they're in the doorway, but don't take too long to get up those stairs, otherwise you'll get hit. Otherwise, take a sharp right to make sure you don't get hit on the wrong angle. And then you go up there, and when you go up the stairs, then you've got to take the long way around through a couple of rooms before you get to the sniper. And because I had no shivs on me, deliberately saving my blade and binding, I will kill him with his own shiv, and they'll give me the whole shiv for free, which I'll be able to use to open up the shiv door when I get to Tommy's Dam for the first time. And I sped up the sniping sequence here, and I do apologise, it's a little bit hard to see properly where I'm supposed to leave off, because I actually did mess up and I got Henry killed. Like, some guy came out, grabbed him and shot him. And so when it restarted the checkpoint, I can't remember exactly what enemies I was fighting or where, but this is far from the hardest sequence. It's very easy. You just got to make sure you pay attention to where Henry and Sam and Ellie are and all that, and make sure you get a good idea about where all the enemies are. And if you take too long to shoot them, or if you miss them, then they'll pop up out of nowhere. Or they won't pop out of nowhere. They'll start moving up from sequence to sequence, from box to box, or from car to car, cover to cover. And when they get close enough, they'll go and grab them. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but once the truck shows up, you only need to worry about the guys off to the right and the guys at the back. I don't think any of them actually rush to take out Sam and Henry, but if you take too long, they will get shot down. Or especially if you... see, the first guy, I don't know if you saw that, but I shot his arm or his head right as he threw a Molotov out, and it didn't kill him. I keep hoping that you can kill this guy if you're fast enough, but no, apparently not. But the second time he'll pop out and you take a shot at his body, he'll drop the Molotov in there and burn alive and go crashing to the side. I think it was kind of a wasted opportunity, as fucked up as it sounds, not to have a death scene where you actually see, like, Ellie, Sam and Henry getting burned by the Molotov as it got thrown. Like, because all you see is Joel just looking away from the sniper rifle, like, looking all horrified at what he saw. So, you know, that's still bad, but yeah. I wish there was a bit more to it. But anyway, you're free to let these enemies go if you want, or just, you know, shoot them down. But that does it for the suburbs. Now we move on to Tommy's Dam, where things are only going to get tougher from here. And I'll see you guys next time.